This is lesson 6 in module 5. Requires a whole lot of writing, and the directions are a little convoluted. So let's jump in. Number 1, each rectangle represents 1. So that means the whole rectangle here is that's one hole. We are going to draw horizontal lines to decompose each rectangle into the fractional units as indicated. So what that means, indicated is sixths. The horizontal line is like this. So we had 2/3, and when we drew our horizontal line, we made it sixths. So now this is 4/6. Then we're going to use the model to give the shaded area as a sum and as a product of the unit fractions, and use parentheses to show the relationship between the number of sentences. First one's been partially done for you. So 2/3 is 4/6, and we have 1/3 and 1/3. That's these original 2/3. And then they're basically saying that each 1/3 can be thought of as a sixth plus a sixth. And altogether that is 4/6. And then they write out these 1/6 again. The 1/6 plus 1/6 and the other 1/6 plus 1/6 could be thought of as 2 times 1/6, because there's 2 of them. And 2 times 1/6, and that again is 4/6. Or we could put all those sixths together. 4 times 1/6 is 4/6. So for this video, I have written out all these equations ahead of time so that you don't have to sit and watch me write them. I'll just kind of explain what I wrote. So for this first one, for B, we started out with 2/5. These are the fifths. We wanted to have tenths, so that's why this line got drawn here, so that now I have tenths, and I end up with 4/10 of them shaded. So I wrote the 2/5 equals the 4/10. The 1/5 plus 1/5 is the same as the 2/5, and then they're saying each of those 1/5 can be seen as a tenth plus a tenth. They're both a tenth plus a tenth. That's a total of 4/10. Then we have the 10th plus a 10th, and the 10th plus a 10th is also 2 times a 10th, and 2 times a 10th, it's still 4/10. And 2/5 is equal to 4 times a 10th, or 4/10. If you need to pause this and go back and fix anything, feel free. If you shorten this up somehow, don't feel bad. This is an awful lot of writing, and some of it is very repetitive. Just make sure you understand the idea that 2/5 is equal to 4/10, and that we can break up the fifths into tenths, and we can say that adding a tenth and a tenth is the same as 2 times a tenth. Okay, C, we've got twelfths. We started out with our 3/4. To make those into twelfths, we had to draw 2 horizontal lines. If I just drew 1, it would be eighths. So I've got 3/4 is 9/12. The 1/4, the 1/4, the 1/4 is that 3/4. And then each of these 3/12 go together. The 3/12, 1, 2, 3/12. Each is equal to a 4th. I'm going to write each of these is the same as a 4th. And altogether that's 9/12, which is the same as 3/12. Then we have all those 1/12 again, written as multiplication sentences instead. The 3/12 is the same as each of those guys. Again, it's 9/12. And 3/4 is the same as 9 times a 12, which is 9/12. For number 2, they are saying the same thing, but we have to actually draw the model. So I drew a model initially doing 3/5. These are my 3/5. We drew the extra line to make it be 6/10 so that it would match up with this equation. And then the same process as before, the 3/5 get broken into addition problems, and the 6/10, those are all 6/10, and the reason we have the parentheses is to just show that they are, each of the 2/10 is equal to a 5th. Then we wrote out all those tenths again, and wrote them as multiplication sentences, and then we wrote the simpler multiplication sentence at the end. For 2b, we drew the 3/4, drew the red line to make it be 6/8, and again, all these unit fractions. Remember, unit fractions have 1 on the top. There's my 3/4. Here's my 6/8. Here's my 6/8 as addition. Here's my 6/8 as the broken out multiplication. And here's the quick multiplication for 6/8, which of course is equivalent to 3/4. 3 asks you to draw an area model, and you get to choose. So if you did not do the same thing I did, don't worry, because you got to choose what it was. So I drew my area model using thirds. So these guys were my thirds. Then I drew the extra lines to make it into 6/9. And again, I did the 2/3 is right there. Here's my 6/9. I didn't rewrite the addition sentence this time, but the 3 times 1/9 represents these 3/9. I did do a multiplication sentence for my thirds this time, though. 2 times a third is the same as the 1/3 plus 1/3. 2/3 is the same as 6 times a 9th equals 6/9. Okay, so I hope writing it out ahead made for easier viewing and didn't make it more confusing. Feel free to let me know if this was helpful or not helpful. Thank you for watching.